So back in our main activity here, we are going to hook up our view model class, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say private view model like this. In fact, we have one that we created, no do view model. There we go. That's what we need. I'm going to call this view model like this. Okay. So we can associate our view model and then get the data from database as live data and then serve it to our recycle view. Now that means on create here, I'm going to instantiate our view model, no do view model. So we're going to set up it to view model providers. Let's say view model providers, because these providers here will have all the data that we want, right? So we have to pass of something. In this case, just a context. And in this case, I'm going to pass this. And then I'm going to say dot get something. What do we want to get? We want to get the view model node view model, that one that we just created. So it has to be, of course, class, because we're setting things up. Very good. So at this point here, what do we need to do? We need to also add the observer for the live data returned by the get all words. So the view model will have this onChanged method, which fires when the observed data changes and the activity is in the foreground. So still inside of our onCreate, I'll just put below our floating button there. I'm going to use our no do view model and access the get all no do's. In fact, let me make sure that I have access to that. Let's see, get all. Let me make this public. I think that is going to help us immensely. So back down here, let's see, dot get all do's. There we go, all no do's. And I'm going to invoke the observe. There we go, the class. Pass this, and we're going to pass a new observer class like that, which has this onChanged method that we override. So this is the beauty. This is where everything good is happening. Okay, remember the observer we talked about? So now our no do view model has access to all of our no do's, and also we attached an observe class which invokes the observer object, and inside we have this onChange. So here, whenever something changes, we can track the change and then propagate everywhere. Okay, so here I'm going to go and say update the cached or the saved copy of no do's in the adapter. So I'm going to go ahead and say adapter, no do list adapter we created, and invoke that set. Let's see, again, I think I should have made all of them. Let's do adapter. Where is our set? Yeah, let's make this public so we have access to it. Okay, there we go, much better. So now we can use that helper method we created inside of our adapter, set nodes or no do's. I keep calling them nodes, and pass our no do's like that, right? Now you remember that inside of our new no do activity, we have this set result here, and then we pass our reply intent. This means that we are going to pass this item that we're getting from our edit text back to our main activity so that it can be saved. That means, of course, if you remember correctly, we have to invoke the on activity results. So I'm going to start typing here on activity result like that. Very cool. So here we're going to do the same thing we've done before. So we're going to retrieve the items that we have added inside of our edit text, and we put in our intent coming back, right? So I'm going to say if request code is equal to, let's go ahead and create new no do request code, which we haven't created yet. Let's go ahead and create that right away. Constant field there. Let's just give it 1. All right. And result code that we're getting is equal to result okay. only then are we going to be able to proceed. In this case, I'm going to create a no-do object here, and I'm going to get it from new no-do. I'm going to pass our data that get string extra, and I'm going to invoke the new do activity, and I'm going to access the extra reply. In fact, I think I made it private. That's the reason why. There we go. I need to go back here. Notice now this is public. So we are accessing this extra reply ID. So we know exactly that we're getting the correct data. Okay. So now we have this object. So now we have our object that we have created in our new no-do activity. All right, so once we have that, we can then go ahead and insert it, right? Because we have that information. View model, so node view model dot insert, and pass our no-do. Okay. Now else, if something goes wrong, we don't have anything, I'm going to just put a toast make here r dot string dot empty not saved. We haven't created that. Let's do just right now. Not saved. There we go. Looks like we may have a little issue. Oh yes, okay, so I have to finish my toast. So toast dot length and of course that show. Okay, there we go. We should be done. Looks like this needs some help. Let's click here, assert null, make sure that data is not null before we actually create an object, because that would make a huge issue. Very good. So at this point here, folks, if we give it a run, let's try real quick. Look at that. Buy a new Ferrari. Because this was added. Why? Because we actually added that inside of our no-do here. Remember, we added this buy a new house or buy a new Ferrari and so forth. And let's check to see if we add something here, it's actually going to, it's not working because we have to click, make sure that when we click here, we go to the next activity. Okay, let's go back to main activity. And right here, we don't need any of this. I'm going to create a new intent here. So intent is equal to new intent. So main dot this, we're going to new dot class. Very good. I'm going to start activity for result, pass our intent. I'm going to pass our new code. There we go. And we should be good. Let's go ahead and save this. Quick run. Okay, buy new Ferrari. Let's click. Buy many homes. Save. There we go. It's showing. Notice we have that same problem we always have when we create recycle views here. So we need to make this disappear so everything is in one place, right? So look at this. This is not good, but at least you can see buy new Ferrari is there. Buy a big house is there from our test code that we added earlier, and we have buy many homes, which we added right now. So let's fix this issue here, which we tend to always get. So let's go to our recycle item. For the height, we're going to say wrap content like this. Save. Refresh real quick. There we go. Now you can see all of them are working. So buy a new Ferrari, buy a big house, buy many homes. Let's see if we can add something new here. Save. Something new is there at the top. Let's see something else we can add. So never do too much. Never do, there we go. It's being added. What else can we add? Create too many courses. Maybe that should be something that should be done. There we go. So it is indeed working. And all of that is being done the correct way using Android Room. So at this point here, if I ran this, rerun, you can notice something very interesting happening. Let's go back. Notice only buy a new Ferrari, buy a big house are showing. And you may say, Does that mean that they weren't added in the database? Well, they were added, but remember, if you go back to our no-do room database here, remember what we're doing first is deleting everything from our database, which is not what we want at this point. At least when we were testing in the beginning, that was good. But at this point here, this is not good because, well, it deletes everything. So I'm going to just comment that out there. In fact, I can come down here and comment all of this out because we don't need that at this point. So this is good in the beginning for testing so you can see things are actually being saved. Let's go ahead and delete everything one more time so we have a clean slate. Nice, everything is deleted. I'm going to go ahead and comment this out and go back down here and add something new. Let's say that's not what we want. There we go. Buy a big home now. Can come here and say new Ferrari today. Save. Buy a new Ferrari today. Let's see. I can say get 2 dogs. Not a good idea at this point. Okay. So this is working. Let's see. Buy a new camera. Probably a good idea, but probably not. There we go. So now if we go ahead and rerun this, notice it's going to show all of that information that we just added. Very good. So now it is indeed persisted in our room database. All right, so there's a lot of things that we covered in this section. Now, if you are a complete beginner with Android, this may be the worst section you've ever gone through, in a sense that a lot of things may not make a lot of sense, and that's okay. In fact, I will make this whole section perhaps optional, so you can actually learn more about Android and learn more about Java in order for you to come back and maybe watch this and hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so but I did put this anyway because if you are brave enough, which I hope you actually take on this challenge to watch this and try to figure out how this works, right? In the end, you will notice that the essence of saving things is it's pretty much the same. It's just the way we go about doing that. So using Android Room, as you saw here, this is the tiny bit of Android Room. There's so many things you can do with Android Room, and allows you to use an architecture that is scalable and bug-free, right? Because now everything is compartmentalized. We have things in the right place, and we're using annotations, we're using observer, pattern, and all the tools that are very important for you to ramp up your developer skills, Android developer skills, okay? So congratulations if you made it here. And what I would like you to do is to figure out a way in which you can take previous applications that we created with the normal SQLite classes, database handler, and so forth, and see if you can translate it all using what we just created here using Android Room. And remember, we can also edit things here. I'm not going to do that because I'm very confident that you can do that. So you can put a button here in our recycle row where when they click, populates this item there, and then they can change and update. That means then you have to invoke the update method, which we already created, if you remember correctly. Okay? All right, very good. Congratulations again, and thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video.